So again, the two big reasons that I think Periscope is awesome for this whole online business stuff that again we talk about in Internet Business Mastery. And the first one is engagement. Now I'll tell you what, after 10 years of doing this internet business thing, I've done podcasting, Twitter, all the different social media, our blog and our blog comments, all that kind of stuff. Engagement is down in some of those normal areas that people do it. Like blog comments are almost worthless on our site. I did a scopes on hearts and, oh yeah, Charlene showed up. That is awesome, man. See, what's the likelihood she's going to go show up at your blog just with some particular blog post that you put up? It's going to be very different. This kind of engagement is completely different to me than even the podcasting that we've been doing for 10 years, blog posting, even my Twitter engagement is a little bit lower than normal, whereas, when I have 140 characters, I'm not a 140 character type of guy, as you can see. I couldn't agree more with, regarding this engagement thing. Yeah, this engagement, this chance for people to see you and be right with you and let your enthusiasm for your topic, for the market that you're engaging with is amazing. I absolutely love it. And because engagement in some of the other more traditional ways, like I said, our blog comments has been dead for a long time. Maybe we get a couple of them. You know what I mean? And it's very light, and it's hard to really engage to this level. So that's one of the things. Can get carried away at times too. No, I actually think that's good. Let's get engaged, my friend. Yeah, exactly. And here's the other cool thing about this type of engagement. I think you can get to know your avatar, the person you're actually doing business for, at a completely different level. Because I've done a Q&A already with this whole Periscope thing, and the great thing with the Q&A is, we talk about in business that you want to let your people tell you what it is exactly that they want. Well, you can do Q&As with this and engage at a completely different level where, you can say, okay, whatever questions do you have about podcasting? Or in my case, since I do podcasting and I do business, but whatever your topic is, you can let your avatar ask the questions here, see what kind of engagement you're getting on these questions by doing shows about these questions, and then that might be something that later you make into an opt-in on your blogs, your blog, or talk about in your podcast, right? This is just another level of engagement and a completely different level of engagement. Hey, thanks so much, Martin, for sharing. Yeah, I really, really appreciate that. Let me see what else. And this is another chance to create a different kind of value, because I don't get to talk like this. Like, our business podcast is just a different format than this. And so I have the chance to be very, very different on this, even more than my podcast. Hey, Johnny, thanks for inviting your followers. Hey, Salt. Buzz, what's going on? All right, so this is that other way of being able to create hey, Carolina. Almost messed up. Carolina, what's going on? Dave, thanks for inviting people. So one of the other cool things that I've been doing with this scope stuff is I've been repurposing it. So that's another thing we can do with this. We can come on, talk about stuff, engage in this way, and then we can turn those scopes that we just did into a bunch of different content. So here's what I've been doing and what I'm planning on doing because of this engagement. Now, I've been turning these scopes into YouTube videos, and then I can put that, I post that everywhere. I post that on my Google Plus, just all my other social places, because when you do a scope, Periscope only keeps that broadcast or that replay for 24 hours. Well, I'm grabbing that and instead putting it on YouTube so that when that 24 hours is up, I can then post the YouTube, and then I now have content on YouTube. But the other thing you could do is you could have the scope that you just did transcribed, turn it into a blog post, turn it into a podcast if you're doing those fields or those different media outlets as well. So see, you can completely repurpose what you're talking about here. And for me, like, everybody's going to be a little bit different in how they give their value. Some people are really good at writing and love the blog posts. Let's see, does it have to be the poster that grabs and saves it. First time in Periscope. Hey, yeah, welcome. Yeah, here's the thing. You can go into your settings in Periscope and you can tell Periscope to save this particular video, and you could put that video up on YouTube, or you can use screen capture software like Camtasia on PC, or what is it called? ScreenFlow? Does anybody remember? I don't use Mac very much. Actually, I'm trying to put ScreenFlow right now on my Air so that I can record these with all the hearts and with all the comments, and then put that up on YouTube. Yeah, ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow is great. By the way, thank you so much for the hearts. The hearts are just letting me know you're getting value. You can do the hearts for that person that says they're new. You can tap the screen and it gives hearts. And that's basically when you're watching somebody, you can let them know you like what they're talking about. You're getting value by hitting the screen. And you can do up to 500 per scope. And if you're feeling really, really generous, you can go out, come back in, and give another 500. So that's how the hearts are working there. But anyway, so yeah, being able to repurpose the content is just another thing. Like when I'm done with this, I then, like I said, I put it on YouTube, and then once the 24 hours is done with the Periscope rebroadcast, yeah, that's what the heart is. Once that's done, then I can still put it up on all my social media channels on YouTube. And then I do scope notes. I'm doing all sorts of stuff where whatever I talk about in here, I basically make, just like on podcasts, they have show notes. Most people who do a podcast, you can go to their website or their blog or whatever and see all the notes, all the different things they talked about, so you don't have to remember while you're listening or watching. That's another way to repurpose the content. But that's a massive thing, to be able to turn that engagement, so you can say this, yes, absolutely. Turn that engagement into repurposed content. Let's see, what else do I have? Yeah, email. Email is not going away, but I'll tell you what, engagement is definitely lower than it has been in the past. And I think the other cool thing about this is when you repurpose this, like I go to my Facebook, both my personal page and to community pages or what is it called, group pages, and then I can repost stuff there as well and get even more engagement. So that's number one. The first thing that I think is a big thing as to why you should use Periscope for business: engagement at a completely different level. Uh-oh. I was going to say, UPS is here, my books, building up the library. How can I follow you? Oh, such a good question. All you got to do is push the little Perry person down in the corner where there's a number right now. It says 24. You hit that, and then you can kind of scroll, pull that up, and then you can hit the plus sign next to my name. It'll turn into a check, and that's how you know you're following me. And that's how you can do it in anybody's scope when you go in. That's how you follow them. If you like what they're talking about, that's the way to do it. All right, so number one was engagement. Number two, what I'm so excited about, even more than regular email list building, let's see, unless they meant literally follow you. Yeah, I don't have my location on, so you won't be able to follow me that way. Although I did notice that location. Hey, what's going on? Miss Keys. I did notice that I did turn on my location last night. I went to a concert, this really awesome concert with Howard Jones, and I turned the location on, and it was generally where I was. It wasn't right where I was, so I might start turning that on. We'll see. We can warn you if anyone sneaks up behind you. Yeah. Actually, I can see it too. I'm right here. All I got is little skull guy. Maybe he can tell me as well. I got to name this guy. Haven't done it yet. I like old man names like Sherman or Mortimer or stuff like that, but we'll have to name that. Yeah, loved the concert. Yeah, that's awesome, Scott. Did you come into one of the ones that I did? Like, that was awesome too. Like, and that was a chance. That was another level of engagement, by the way. That other level of engagement to be right there. I got these insane tickets right next to him and even got to meet him afterwards. That was awesome. I accidentally left my location in and it pinpointed my house. Oh wow! See, I think they've now turned it so it doesn't go right down to it. But yeah, the music was beautiful. Yeah, Howard Jones has been my favorite since like 1985 when I was in junior high. Absolutely love Howard Jones. But yeah, that's an engagement. I'll tell you, Pat Flynn. He just him and his family are in Disneyland right now, and every once in a while they'll turn it on and show where they are in Disneyland. You get this whole other level of engagement. It's so awesome. Play some. Never heard him. Oh, you'll have to look up Howard Jones on YouTube. He's all over the place, and you have heard him. You'll hear some of his top songs, and he went to #1 multiple times in the late '80s. How to turn off location. I think it's defaulted to off, so you don't have to worry about that. When you scope, you have to actually push a button that says to do location. They're on Main Street just now. Yeah, Main Street. Yeah, I just watched him on Disney, Main Street Disney. And that's just yet another level of that engagement. Mine is defaulted on. Oh, okay, so you can go into your settings and tell it to turn that off. I love the way he got engaged in his audience. I listened to the entire time. Yeah, it was a different. That's not how he normally does concerts. Just as a complete side note, he talked all about the designing of his signs when he was hanging out with David Bowie, all that kind of stuff. He did that in between songs, and he even kind of joked in while he was singing songs and stuff. That was really awesome. But and I was able to share that with you guys, right? Like I normally talk about the whole epic life stuff and this scoping for business kind of stuff, but then you got to go be at that concert too. And that's, again, a type of engagement that can create a fan for what you're doing at a completely different level than just hear me mentioning stuff on a podcast or a blog post or something, right? Okay, so number 2. Let's get to number 2. I thought this was going to maybe be 10 minutes, and yeah, we're at 20 minutes. Thanks for doing that. You're the best. Yeah, thanks. And thanks for the hearts. Love that. So number 2, community building. Now, the thing that I'm really enjoying with this whole Periscope thing is the community building. Let's see, I followed your podcast for years, but this is such a cool other side. Yeah, this is, now you get to see a completely different level of how I am throughout the day. That's why I have multiple different types of scopes that I do, because I wanted to be able to show other sides like that. Johnny's saying, I'm thinking of scoping with 2 Twitter accounts, one for my personal brand and one for my biz, and the community is awesome. Yeah, I've decided to just keep them together for now. We'll see what happens. I'm kind of think of it like channels. I'm going to be doing the scoping stuff, maybe even some just general business stuff, and then the epic life stuff that I do usually in the morning. Want to hear more about the community part? Want to launch an online community of my own for my website. Yeah, people buy from people. Okay, so here's what I'm doing, and my business partner, Jason Van Orden, we both are totally testing this right now. And what we're doing is we're sending people, rather than simply trying to get you to do what we would do normally on our web page or our blog, is try and get you to go to an opt-in. Instead, we're building a community using Facebook groups. And Facebook groups, there's a lot of upsides to this, and I'm actually learning a ton about people that are building huge communities with Facebook groups. You can still, once people are in the Facebook group, you can still do the opt-in, try and get them on your email list if you want, but I'm trying something completely different with that, with the Facebook groups, and possibly not taking them off, because I'm following a guy, I'm checking him out, and I'll tell you more about that. Have 2 followers already. Yeah, I'll tell you more about that as things progress with this Facebook group stuff. But the guy I'm following, he has 17,000 people in one of his Facebook groups, and he sells a product. I think it's like $97 or whatever. And it was talking about building Facebook groups. And again, I'll tell you about that later after I've gone through it, if I believe in it enough to refer it. But he doesn't even make sales pages. He doesn't create websites for his products. He doesn't do all the stuff that I've done for 10 years. Got to go. All right, see you, Johnny. He doesn't do all of that stuff. He does it all within Facebook groups. And the great thing is the notifications on Facebook, let Facebook tell your people when things are there, right? Scarcity was mentioned in the last IBM podcast. Yeah. I can't remember what that was about. We're like 4 podcasts ahead. Sorry. But anyway, so the community, building that community in the Facebook group, being able to create that value and let other people create the value with you is a massive thing. I'll tell you, people that sign up for our private Internet Business Mastery Academy Facebook group, we've got, I don't know, 15 or 16 or 1,800 people in there now. It's just this bustling community of everybody helping at different levels. Like we just started a Facebook group last week. It was totally awesome. Yeah, I love this part of it. It's so funny. It's like revitalized my interest at an even higher level in internet business. I've been doing it for 10 years. And, some of the stuff had been starting to fade. Like I said, blog comments, not much going on with the blog comments. Even some of the engagement that can come from emails are down a bit. This is that chance to completely connect at not only a business level, but even a personal level. And so, gotta go. All right, see ya. Check out the replay. I just missed the other one that was right after that. So that community building is the thing that I think is absolutely essential with this kind of personality-based or you as the brand-based business. And that's what's got me and Jason completely excited. Again, he started a Facebook group about influence and upping your brand. It's called Impact, I do believe. How do you balance content creation versus community-generated content on Facebook? Well, that's what I was talking about a little bit earlier. The rebranding is very, very useful that way, right? You can turn this into multiple things. You could, if a lot of people engage in what you're talking about, you can turn that into a podcast. You can turn it into a blog post. You could turn it into multiple blog posts. And that's all that we have in the works, because you could have this transcribed incredibly cheap. You go to Fiverr.com or you can go to Elance and find a transcriber, get this transcribed and turn it into at least one blog post I could do. See, we also do audio blogs on Internet Business Mastery, so I could turn this into a blog and then reread it more specified, like I'm just kind of going, I've got notes, but I'm going off the cuff. I could make that really, really tight, make it a blog post, read it as an audio blog, then it goes out to different channels that those people might not be seeing this podcast stuff. Right? So that's one of the ways that you can do it, is make it, one thing becomes 10 things. And I'm really big on that kind of stuff. We used to do that when we'd write a blog post. We would turn it into an audio blog to be able to repurpose it that way for those that don't want to read a blog post and that would rather listen, right? So you could do that with this. This could become multiple things. Whew, take a breath. Any hearts if you're enjoying this while I take a breath, or any questions as well? Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you guys are getting value out of this. Super like all the information. Appreciated. Happy Hillbro. All right. Yeah, you're very welcome. Let me make sure I got everything before I go. I did an hour-and-a-half scope on Saturday. I was going to try and do an under 30-minute scope. I don't think I've ever done an under 30 scope. So that's why I'm kind of going a little bit faster than normal. Let's see. Build even more value with Facebook groups. Let Facebook and Periscope. Yeah, let Facebook and Periscope notify people for you. I find that I'm 3 weeks into this Periscope thing, and I still am excited when I hear the notification. I don't get irritated. I'm nervous about keeping a Facebook community valuable and manageable. I thought you have a 7-minute limit. Oh, no 7-minute limit at all. There's no limit that I know of. Again, I went over an hour and a half on Saturday, and it was all fine. Here's the great thing about keeping the Facebook group manageable. Your community adds to it. So I did on Epic Life Scopes, that's one of my community, I put up a diagram for something and talked about how I keep track of it. And then 2 other people, they actually made these graphs and put them up for the community members to be able to use themselves. I didn't even have to do that. They did that, right? So that's one of the things. It's creating a community where you're basically the curator slash mentor of the community, and then the whole community takes part and helps each other and brings up ideas like every single day. Even though, let's see, in my Scoper Secrets, if you go to scopersecrets.com, that forwards you to my Scoper Secrets Facebook group. I only have a few people, but people are already getting going, right? Whereas in my Epic Life Quest, if you type in Epic Life Quest in Facebook, you can see that group. People are already starting to comment, asking questions, helping each other, answering questions, where I don't have to do all the work. Now, one of the things, let me see what this is. Should you start a conversation with the group every day? I've been trying to do that at first. So the guy that I'm learning from right now about these Facebook groups, he says when you get somewhere between 200 and 500 members, he was still engaging on a lot, whether it's daily, every other day, whatever, to keep the conversation going, so to speak. But he goes somewhere between 200 and 500 people, it completely has a life of its own. And then you just come in when you've got something extra for everybody, or you just learned something cool that you want to share, or you've curated some great video you want to show, or whatever. That's when you come in. But you'll start seeing, like, I'll give you an example in our private Facebook group for members of the Internet Business Mastery Academy. Like, I go in there and there's like 10 posts before I can even, put the thing I was going to put. And I'm only putting stuff in there, I don't know, a couple times a week now, sometimes, because, we got 1,800 people, I think is actually what it is, in there. So, there's 30 things that go on during the day where people are engaged and asking questions and posting really awesome resources and all that kind of stuff. So I think the key is thinking of it in terms of, and we'll see how this goes. I know in Jason's, he has maybe 300 people, and it's already picked up. And that's in 2 weeks. He's gotten 300 people in his Facebook group. And I have in the Epic Life Quest, I think 100 and something, and already getting a little bit of pickup. But Jason's, man, once he hit about 250, it really started picking up, and people are posting, putting long posts, helping each other. It's so awesome. So I guess start it with the idea that you want to do what you can to get that group to that special point where everybody starts helping each other. Everybody starts considering it their community, not just somewhere where you're going to be the mentor. You want both. Any suggestions on how to get more people into the group? Well, I'll tell you what, every time I scope, I talk about one of two of my Facebook groups. Right? So that's going to be one. Anything you can do in either Facebook on your profile if you happen to have business people, or your Twitter or Google Plus or Instagram, any of those places, invite people, even if it's once a week, invite people to your Facebook group. Say that's where you're going to be sharing all of your information to start, just getting them there. And then you can, when you put a blog post out or a podcast out, you can share that in the Facebook group as well to slide people over, possibly, if that's going to be your direction. Right now, I'm just thinking of it in terms of building the Facebook groups, building the community. Perfect. Awesome. The scarcity of Periscope encourages them to join. Yeah, because here's the thing. When this is done, I'm going to make, I call them scope notes. And I'm going to talk, I'm going to put some of these points, some of the links I talked about, I'll put them in the notes. So if somebody's listening to this and they're not in a position to write notes or any of that kind of stuff, during this cast, I go to scopersecrets.com. That'll put you in the Facebook group, and you can get the notes there. You don't have to worry about it, because I'll tell you what, I want to see the post that says, where do most people listen to Scopes? In the bathroom has to be in the top 3. Right? Like, you can't write notes there. Scopersecrets.com. Yes, thank you so much for doing that. I'm joining your group. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to talk sometimes about the beginner stuff, the beginner notes, Periscope tips and stuff like that. But I mostly want to talk about how we can use this to build engaged communities and actually use it for business as well. And use it at this high level of engagement, higher than I've seen in the last 10 years in all the other things that I've watched come along. Scope notes are a big help. That's awesome. I need beginner stuff. Well, you can ask that too. I can answer the beginner stuff. I'll tell you what. I'm testing right now. This is my testing to see what times of day seem to be better, right? And I've heard some things. There's some numbers starting to gotta go. All right, thank you for sharing too, and thanks for all the hearts. I've heard that this is basically the time somewhere between I think it was 4 p.m. Pacific to about 8 p.m. Pacific time is a really good time. The numbers of people on Periscope are really, really high, so that's what I'm testing now. Yeah. By an amazing actor, that could be cool. I don't understand how people find me without location on. You can go to where you're looking at the map. You can actually look at the list view, and it just shows you every single scope that's out right now. You can also look by keywords. So there's more than just the map. That's just one way of doing it. And again, if you have any following on social media at all, that's where I start too. Generally, I post I tell people, it's like a, what are they called? I haven't watched regular television for so long, but it'll say, tomorrow at 8, you can watch Game of Thrones or whatever. Do that in any sort of social media that you can do. I do that as well. I just requested to join Scoper Secrets. Thank you, Alan. And yeah, I'll try and make sure I can create as much value in there as possible. And that comes from my complete passion for this. I absolutely love it. I'll probably talk a little bit about Blab too as that starts getting picked up and getting going as well. Very, very similar to this, but more of a group. You can have 4 people talking at the same time. How do you join? There's a little join button. If you go to scopersecret.com, that takes you to my Facebook group. It just forwards to my Facebook group, and there's a little join button. You just click that join button, and after this scope, I will go in and let you in. Love your passion. Thanks. Yeah, I love this stuff. I've been doing internet business. For those of you who don't know me from internetbusinessmastery.com, I've been doing this internet business thing for 10 years now, and I still have the same passion. I love the lifestyle design and the lifestyle freedom that comes with it, and this is just another way to have that happen. So if this Periscope thing matches your personality, matches your desire to create value in this way, I mean, it's amazing. I absolutely love it. The last time I loved something this much was podcasting in 2005, and I'll tell you, I've made 7 figures with podcasting. Because of my super excitement. My business partner, Jason Van Orden, he told me about it almost 10 years ago. Actually, 10 years ago this month, he said, oh my gosh, there's this thing called podcasting. He explained what it was, and I was like, oh my gosh, we got to do a podcast. And we started Internet Business Mastery, gone on to make millions of dollars with that podcast. One of actually the highest grossing podcast monetarily that there is. You know, we're definitely in the top 20 out of all of them, including all the top ones, because of that excitement about podcasting. So when I feel that feeling now, I get very excited, and I feel that about Periscope, and I feel that just in general about this live streaming. Whether Periscope is the one or it ends up being something else, it's the live streaming, this interaction that I like. How did you go for 10 years? I missed it. If you can type that in, I'll stop whatever I'm ranting about, and I'll Carolina, I think I saw you do that. Any questions, really quick, and I'll recap as well. So I'll do a recap and pause if I see questions. Let's see. Cool, thanks. My first time watching your scope. James Windsor invited me. Oh, so glad. Yeah, thank you. Definitely follow me. And the way to be able to do that so that you can watch whenever I have these, I do them almost every single day about 2 different topics. You just click the little guy in the corner, and you'll see my name. Scroll up and you can see my name, and hit the plus sign next to my name, and that'll make it so you can see these notifications and watch this. When do we name the skull? Yeah, we'll have to, maybe in the Facebook group. I'll take a picture of it and go, let's name the skull. Just followed you. Awesome. And I've been asked why I have a skull, and it's not real. It's not real. Unfortunately, I think that would be actually kind of cool. I actually got it on Amazon, and I got it because I'm a huge reader. If you don't know me, I read somewhere between 3 and 5 books a week. And I read about how monks used to keep skulls on their bookshelves. Yeah, he's not creepy. They keep them on their bookshelves to remind them of their mortality, so they live fully every day. And that's what I talk about in the Epic Life Quest and Epic Life Scopes that I do. You think it's not real? Oh, yeah. Yeah, 3 to 5 books per week. Yeah, I actually absolutely love reading. Hi, Jeremy. I love your positiveness. Thanks, James. That's awesome. Again, any other questions? I'm going to recap and then try and get out of here. I'm already at like almost 40 minutes. So much for 20 minutes. Okay. Let's see. How can you alert you're live on Facebook like it does for Twitter? Actually, I just put a time. I'll put a preview, sometimes 30 minutes. I still can't sit that long, yeah. 30 minutes to even an hour. Sometimes I'll even put it 2 hours, and I'll say, at this time, at 7 p.m. Pacific, I'm going to do a scope on these things. That's how I have to do it right now. Now, if they're following in my Facebook group, they'll get a notification because I put something in the Facebook group. How do you get 2 followers worth? I forgot. I missed that. Sorry. I just favored you, and I cannot wait to see you again. Yes. Again, I talk about these Periscope for business type secrets, as well as creating an epic life. Not just regular, ordinary, or great, an epic life. So those are the things I talk about. Okay, I'm gonna do a little recap. All right, so the 2 big reasons I say to use Periscope for online business. Question, let's see. How did I get 2 followers without scoping ever? Okay, I'll tell you that. Oh man, I missed the next one. How you got that could be because you're asking questions in here, and this is kind of a tip to start getting followers. When you go into somebody else's scope and they say a URL, or you consider yourself the moderator of other people's scopes. So if they say, like I said, scopersecrets.com, and somebody earlier typed it into the comments for everyone to see. Do things like that. Ask good questions. Answer the questions that the scoper's doing. And if people like you, they see that you're doing that and they like you, they will follow you. They'll go see your profile and go, oh, they're interesting. I'll follow them and see what they talk about. That's how you have 2. Yep, that usually brings people. Can you, Tara's comment after the broadcast? I don't know what that means. Sorry. Okay, so the 2 things. Number 1, 2 of the big reasons to use this for online business: engagement. This is such an awesome high level of engagement. I think it's absolutely essential to be doing something like this. Let people see who you are, engage with them, let them ask questions, be able to see what your people, your avatar, your audience, your fans have on their mind that can become other content. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is community. Build this community of people that are interested in the same stuff so that you can curate and mentor them. Spell check, yeah. So you can curate and be a part of their life. They can be a part of your life and make it a solid community. That way when you recommend something, people know you. They know you're not going to give them terrible stuff or not going to recommend crappy stuff, right? And so that is kind of the essence of this whole community thing. So number 2, community. Yeah, see exactly what Chris is doing. That's what I was talking about. Consider yourself the mayor of other people's scopes. You're nice to people. You engage with other people. You can tap on somebody else's comment, and you can reply directly to their comment. So if they didn't get their question answered, you can actually, if you happen to know the answer, you can give them the answer. Right? Or if you've already heard the person scoping answer the question, you could answer it for them. Because I try and catch a lot of the comments, but clearly I do a lot of talking, then I do comments, I go back and forth. Can you reread these comments after the scope is over? You can by going to scopersecrets.com, joining my Facebook group. I'm going to put them in the scope notes, I call them. That's one way, and you can watch a replay of this. So that's the other thing. You can watch a replay of this for up to 24 hours in the Facebook groups that I have. I then put the replay up on YouTube so that I have it indefinitely. For whatever reason, Periscope only shows it for 24 hours. Man, I'm using my hands a lot today. Periscope uses that, only allows that rebroadcast to be up for 24 hours, and so that I don't lose that, I put it up on YouTube again to be able to be repurposed like we talked about in the engagement stuff. Thank you again for the hearts. If you're brand new, tapping the screen gives hearts, shows the person talking that they're giving you value. So that's how. So there you go. Those are the two things: engagement and community building. And so there you go. Cool. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I actually see a lot of new people. So I really, really appreciate your taking the time. Again, I was trying to go quicker than normal so that we could get to the actual tips. Very, very helpful. Appreciate you. Yeah, thank you so much. Again, the big call to action in this video is one of the ways you can see what I'm doing with this internet business stuff is definitely join scopersecrets.com Facebook group. Obviously, it doesn't cost. It's a Facebook group. Just join that, and you'll be able to see. I'll be talking all about what's working with this Periscope stuff. Thank you again. I'll give one more second here for any questions, even if they're beginner questions. I'll totally answer whatever questions you have with this. Great content, Jeremy. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thank you so much. Again, I almost didn't do it. I was like, oh, I'll just do one with 2 things instead of the like 12 tips I gave on Saturday. And by the way, the replay of the hour and a half, 12 20 tips, whatever tips I did, that is in the Scoper Secrets Facebook group. That's the replay that's up right now. So you can go there and watch for a whole bunch more tips. We'll probably have more questions right after. Yeah, well, and again, in the Facebook group, ask the questions there. I'll answer them there as well. See, and that's the other cool thing about having the Facebook group, having that community, is if somebody doesn't get their question answered, they can go ask it in the Facebook group. You still have the chance to answer their question. Love it. Just the level of engagement is so much better. Absolutely love it. Wow, silence. My own voice. All right. Thanks so much for the hearts. 10 more seconds to see what's going on. Yes, I can totally use this for business. You absolutely can. What tool are you using to record for YouTube? Yeah, I'll tell you that. Drink a lot of fluids. Yeah. I filled this huge thing up to be able to do this. The 2 things that you can use, I use Camtasia. So that's what I use to be able to record, and I'm still making that work. Really what I do is I take the video that Periscope saves into, I use an iPad rather than my iPhone. It saves it, and I throw that up on YouTube. Right? That's the way I'm doing it right now. But what I'm trying to get to work is I'm trying to be able to record the replay so we can see all the hearts, all the comments, all of that kind of stuff. I'm trying to get Camtasia to work, and actually just to see if I can get it to work, I'm using my Air, my MacBook Air or Mac Air, whatever it's called, and I'm using ScreenFlow. So that's what I'm downloading literally right now. Right before we started this, I was trying to get ScreenFlow to work to be able to record the replays. Yeah, that would be awesome. So yeah, I've got, and actually, if you want to see what I'm doing with my YouTube channel, is that a real skull behind me? Sure. Let's just say it is. How can I join your Facebook group? Go to scopersecrets.com. Let me write that down. I usually have it written down. Here's one other thing. I got a little whiteboard. Here, I'm going to write it down. Here it is. All right, so this is how you can go. Let's see, come back a little bit. If you can even read that, scopersecrets.com. That just simply takes you to my Facebook group. I just bought the URL because it's easier than all of the like bit.ly, you know, all that kind of stuff. What's up, Jeremy? Came in right at the end. Okay, so this is where you can go. I'll put it up here. This is where you can go to learn more about all of this stuff that I'm talking about. Heart attack, yes, please, thank you. So yeah, that's where I'm putting it. I even got another one of these, a bigger one, so that I can have some of this stuff just ready. So when you ask, I can go, boom, it's already ready. Right? You took a photo of it. Oh, that's perfect. Yes, take a photo of it. ScoperSecrets.com. I'll let you guys in as soon as it's a private group, but I'll let you in as soon as I'm done with this. And again, you can see the old cast. And I think you can go, if you go to epicjer.com/YouTube, try and remember that one. Somebody could type it in, that would be awesome. epicjer, JER.com/YouTube. I believe that takes you to my YouTube channel where you can see what it looks like, what I'm doing with these broadcasts to repurpose them. And I'll put a link to that in the Facebook group too. Excuse me. All right. Anything else? Love it. I love answering the questions. God, I've literally been studying this, barely sleeping. EpicJer, yes, there it is, epicjer.com/YouTube. I think you should become a motivational speaker. Well, that's, to be honest, that's partly what the Epic Life Quest is. So if you go to Facebook and just in their search type in Epic Life Quest, you can see my other Facebook group, talk all about that. There we go. Please, please tell me that worked. I set it up yesterday, and tested it then, but hopefully it works. If not, again, I'll put it in the Facebook group. All right, I'll make sure that's there right after this. All right, works. Awesome. So you'll see most of the Epic Life stuff, and I believe very much in progress, not perfection. So I haven't even figured out how to do the YouTube page really, really well. Will you please write that on the board so I can take a picture? Oh, there it is. You can, Jeremy put it on, just take a picture right there. That is it. Did you get it? Oh boy, we got people coming in right as I'm about to leave. Just got it. All right, great. All right, guys, I will see you. I'll be putting the replay up in just a few minutes with some notes and all that stuff, and I will see you next time. I'm just going to be testing times. I think this might be a good time. A lot more people came in. I was doing it at 7 a.m. Pacific. Well, that's when I was doing the Epic Life Quest, or the Epic Life Scope, I call it. But I'll be kind of all over the place. See you, Carolina. I'll get that. See you guys. I'm going to be testing times. If you're following me, you'll be able to get the notifications, and you'll be able to watch the replay. So there you go. Thanks so much, guys. I sent a request to the group. Hope to get accepted soon. Yes, I will. Keep up the good content. Thank you. Hey, thanks, Jeremy. I'll catch the replay. Have a good night. All right. Hey, and by the way, when you watch replays, you can give hearts during the replays as long as it's through Periscope. You will not be able to give hearts on the YouTube replay. It seems obvious, but I thought I would say it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Hope you found value. Talk to you next time.